Hi, Charlie McKinney. We're with Houston Downhole. Travis and I are going to show you about dressing a roller reamer. We have a 22-inch whole-size roller reamer here, model 60 type. We already have the blocks put in, and we just kind of want to walk you through some of the things as we dress them that we run into, that maybe you run into, that we want you to be able to kind of, troubleshoot them as you go. Once you're getting the blocks in, the main thing is to make sure they're all the way to the end of the pocket. The pocket itself will stop the block, but we do have a keyway for the cross pin hole here, and that hole should line up in the middle, or at least to where you can get the cross pin into the hole and down through. If when you're pushing in the blocks, we push them in with an inner pack hydraulic press. We use a 30-ton press and also a 100-ton cylinder that we push it in with, depending on the size, the hole size that we're doing. But as you're pushing it in, you might watch as the block is going in, because the tolerance on the bottom of these is very, very close, and you might get some metal shavings that the block is pushing up on. If that's the case, just stop the hydraulic press and take those out with your finger, screwdriver, or whatever, because if they get into the end of this, they may stop the block from completely going up. So you need to watch it as you push it in, and make sure that none of those metal shavings catch on the end. But once you get it in, the upper block is going to have the keyway for the slot for the cross pin in the block itself. This will hold the bearing pin in place through the block. Now what we're going to do is we're going to show you as you go through here. We're going to put a bearing pin in, and we're going to have it through a cutter and show you some of the things that we run into as we get into this. Travis, hand me that. We'll take the bearing pin, and the bearing pin has a little step at the top of it. As you can see here, it has on the end of it a tang, and the tang itself fits into the lower block down here as we go through. So you need to make sure you line it up. But as we're inserting it, the bearing pin is going to go in through the cutter. Now first thing we're going to do is we're going to put it in without the cutter, just to show you. Travis is going to insert it in, and as it goes in, you will see that as this upper step right here starts coming in, it's going to reach the front edge of the block. And as it reaches the front edge of the block here, the tang at the bottom here touches the lower block. Now there's cases here, as you can see, this has a little play in it. The tolerances are pretty small, but it has a little play. There may be times that when you get here and you think that this upper area here is caught on this block. It's not really, because what you can do is take this out, turn it around, and shove this in, and that'll show you that it goes through. Okay, so it's going through this block. So if when you turn it around and you're coming in, this tang needs to be facing up, but as you're coming in, you can see as it reaches this block here, if it stops, it's not because of this step, it's because right down here, this tang has dropped a little bit, and what you'll need to do is, we'll show you in a minute, we use a strap, you'll need to pull that up a little bit, and Travis, go ahead and push it. And you'll see then it goes into this block here, and it goes all the way up snug as we go in. Now what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and we'll put the cutter, the bearing pin through the cutter, and we'll show you how we operate on that. So let's go ahead and take that out. We put a strap across this area here. Now on the bigger ones, you can put it closer to the end down here, because that's where you're probably going to need most of your lift. This is a 7-inch cutter. We just drop it in. Okay, so we've got the strap around the cutter, and what we're going to do is now Travis is going to lift up, and I'm going to push in right here, and you see it kind of sticks right there. As he lifts up, you can push it and it goes on in, okay? and it goes on into the blocks and through the cutter. Now sometimes we have to take a sledgehammer, and at this point you just beat this in right here and it'll go in. I'm not going to put it all the way in just so we don't go in, but you just beat it in because the tang is up. If this hole right here is the line hole for the tang, it's going to come in and it's going to come out this block just straight down here. If it's not, you can adjust it a little bit by rolling the cutter, and that'll